something over. Hello. Am I on camera? Back again to work on another project. This time I'm making art tiles. So what I've been doing is, to start with, I'll show you. I've got some the under tissue from napkins, and what I do with those is I stamp on them, and then I'll use these in various different things. So at the moment I'm using them to make little art tiles, which is something I haven't made before. So I'm going to start. I have these little cardboard squares. It was just a big piece of cardboard that was in some packaging. So I've cut these up and I've painted them some pastel colours for a background. And so I'm now going to glue down some of that napkin paper. I also do this with tissue paper, but I thought it would be good way to use up these little bits of napkin by doing that, because once you glue them down they're see-through. So if you have patterns or colours underneath, they shine through, which is nice. And I also like the texture that you get from having these on top rather than just stamping straight onto the cardboard. So put that aside to dry. Do the next one. Oh, it's stuck to my thumb. And the last one, I thought I'd do some music paper. Can't tell which side that's supposed to go, but I'll do the one that looks the strongest colour. Some of these papers, like this particular one here, has a bit of the colour from the top layer of the napkin that's still on it. Like there's a very slight pattern underneath. This was purple flowers, so you can see a bit of purple flower on it if you're up close. So I'll quickly dry these off with the hairdryer. So I'll be back in a sec rather than make you watch that. Alright, I've done that. And to save time, I tucked the edges under, and I've put some, mine's gone blank, sorry, pattern paper anyway. I've put that on the back just to cover it up the ugliness. So the next thing I'll do is just go around the edges with some black paint to neaten those edges up. So it just kind of finishes it off a little bit more nicely, I suppose. Just do a little bit over the edge. So I've actually been making these for quite a few days now, slowly. Having a lot of patience that I do have. I can do lots of little fiddly things. That doesn't really bother me. I enjoy it. If I do happen to get bored, I will watch videos at the same time while I'm working, or like I did yesterday, I watched a comedy while I was doing this, which was good to have a bit of a laugh. And I was so long at it that I watched a whole season of one comedy, which was 10 episodes all in a row. That was a bit of fun. Right, so there's one. What I'm actually using here is a sort of homemade craft mat, I suppose you could call it, because I don't have a non-stick craft mat. So I got this idea from a woman I saw very early last year, so I'm really regretful that I can't remember who she was now. I might try and see if I can find it by searching for it, but it's, you know, something you can do really cheap and easy if you don't have a lot of money or access to, you know, buying a craft mat, which can be quite expensive, those things, especially here in Australia. So anyway, this is a large piece of square cardboard, and it's been covered with this layers of this paper, which is it's non-stick. It's a baking paper that we use in the oven so that things don't stick, and it works really, really well as a craft mat. And what I do is I've got several layers, and when this one gets too sort of old and worn and tattered, I just tear it off, and then I've got layers underneath which are fresh and I can keep using it. And then eventually when I get back down to the cardboard, I will just redo it over again with more paper. But so far this has lasted me a really long time. It's really great for, particularly if I'm gluing things and I need to set them aside to dry, and I don't want them to stick to any surface while they are drying. I'll put them on here and they will peel away really easily afterwards once they've dried. And in particular I do that with things that I cover in that Mod Podge varnish. I will put it on here so I know that it's going to peel up really easily for me when I need to. So yeah, if you can't afford a craft mat or don't have access to one, there's something simple that you can do for yourself that you'll find quite useful and is fairly cheap to do. I have seen someone else, and I have a feeling it was Ina Salisbury, who does a similar thing but uses contact paper, you know, that stuff that you cover books with. I think she does that, and she uses that, and she says that also lasts a really long time. So there's a couple of really great ideas. If you're looking for something that's going to save you money and is still going to be really, really useful for you. Washing my hands, sorry. I'm doing this in particular so that I don't then smudge paint all over them, which I see I've already done on one of them, which is a shame, but can't be helped now. Alright, so I'm going to zap these really quickly to dry them off in a hurry. And yeah, I'll just do this on camera rather than switch it off, but I'll probably either speed through it or just cut it out so you don't have to put up with it. Okay, now that's done. The next thing is to coat them with some of this varnish just to protect them underneath so that I can work on top. Just give a really quick light coat. Which makes it look nice too, because the colours come out better. Take a few seconds to dry. Just make sure I rinse the brush out straight away, because I don't want it to ruin the bristles, because I tend to favour this one brush in particular. I think I'm going to probably use it to death rather than having a separate varnish brush and a separate glue brush. I'm a bit naughty like that. Alright, so what I want to do next is I'll start working on one, and I just want to stick things on. So I've already got a few ideas set aside ready to go, because I don't want to waste a lot of time on this video. So I think that's still a bit wet. I'm just going to quickly zap it. That's done it. And so what I was thinking is to put this little piece of, this was a crocheted tablecloth that fell to bits, so I've been using it on various different projects. So I thought I'd stick that on there, and add a little bit of pink from a ribbon, and yeah, I might put a button in the corner or something like that. I'm not really 100% sure on that, so I'll glue these down to start with. These have been really fun to do. I've done them in all sorts of different ways, and I'll show you. I've got a basket with a lot in them already that I've done, and I'll still keep working on them until I've used up that whole sheet of cardboard that I had. And these will be good for lots of different things, you know, I guess how you normally use art tiles, but I was thinking, you know, like an art journal page, or maybe even on a canvas, or you could put them in pocket letters, you know, as embellishments. Yeah, maybe send them as Happy Mail, little goodies in Happy Mail. Yeah, so I might do that. I might just stick that button on there. And that'll be that. Of course, I would leave some blank, so that when I came to do a particular, say a journal page, I could then decorate the tile so that it matches what the colours that I've got in the page. But for this purpose, I'm just playing and making all sorts of different ones and enjoying it. So I want this bit of braid on here, so I'll put down some glue there. Brush, I'll need a little brush. I've got all sorts of clutter on the desk here. It's Might be hard to find things in a hurry because I'm messy. Yeah, snip that off. And I'll let that dry before I cut it right up to the edge because I'll probably dislodge it. So what else I want to do is I've made this little thing. I've got a paper bead and a couple of little plastic beads on some embroidery thread. So I want to have that hanging down over the lace. And now I think about it, I probably should have waited to put the backing on before, you know, until after I glued this on. But yeah, just for this demonstration I'll go ahead and do it anyway, just to show you, and then I'll probably put another piece over the top to cover it later on. So I'll glue that down on the back then. Keep checking the camera to make sure that I'm still in view. Oh. Right, so I might let that sit aside while it dries. And for the blue one, I wanted to do these. I've done the same sort of thing, a couple of paper beads on some embroidery cotton. And I was thinking, oh, I'm all tangled up. Thinking of having them on the side there, one longer than the other. I accidentally spilled a bit of paint on one of them, but it'll do. I've got a button to stick over the top. Which will hopefully hold them in place. Ooh. And I've got these little what do you call it? Sticky glittery things. So I thought I'm sticking these in the corner. So there they are, simple little things, but fun to do. And then I suppose you could add other things to them later on if you wanted to jazz them up a bit more, or maybe have them matching with something else you're putting them on. So that's that, what I wanted to show you quickly. Oh, I forgot on this one, I also wanted to put this little flower. I have, I don't know where it is now. Yeah, I have this little thing I've obviously cut flowers out of already. It's just a little embroidery thing. I don't know, I've had this for years and years anyway, so I've started cutting it up because it's got really sweet little flowers on it. And so out of that I've cut this little, if you can hopefully see that alright, a little flower on a stem with some leaves. And I thought I'd stick that down here. And I want to put a little gem on the inside of the flower. Probably could be up a bit straighter. There we go. Now tweezers I need so I can pick these up, otherwise they'll go flying everywhere. This is just a little case of these little tiny whatever you call them. These don't have sticky backs, so I have to use glue with them. That's easy enough. Put a dot there, take that off. It fell on there. And I just dip that in the glue. Ooh, try not to lose it all together. And stick it on. And I'll wipe that quickly, otherwise the glue will cloud it over. That's alright. Oops, this one's gone a bit funny. There, so that's my 3 little arty tiles. Hope you like them. And so I thought I'd show you now others that I've been making. I've got a basket here of them. So I'll just run through them quickly because there's lots. I've got butterfly, another butterfly one there where you just put some dots, colourful dots on for the butterfly. I've got one there with a flower. Just all sorts of different sizes. They're no particular, I didn't measure anything, I just cut them out willy-nilly, as you could say. I'll take photos, I think, in case this isn't showing up. Alright, it's another butterfly. I did another one of those flowers, but put a flat back pearl there. Another butterfly. These little flowers, how I did those, I've done these quite a few times. Just show you quickly. All I do is, can you see, am I on frame? I just draw a basic little flower with petals. Really simple, basic, nothing fancy. Then I paint them, and then I go over them with the pen just to outline them, and then I cover them with varnish and cut them out. And I've made lots of little tiny flowers like that. I've used them before on a canvas as part of my angel's hairpiece, like a headband. And I've used them on quite a few other things too. They really take a lot of patience because they take a really long time to make, but I don't mind doing it, so, and I think it's worth it. So I've got one there that I've put the flowers in the corner, like a little bunch of them. I've got quite a lot of butterfly ones. It's an orange one with just some flowers, a button and a bow. A little birdie one. Rose one. Little bow, really simple. There I've got a bit of lace, some embroidery cotton and a paper bead there in the corner. These I've just left plain, so I've just got the cotton and the paint, the napkin stuck over the top. There's another one. Just a bit of ribbon and some glittery things there. So yeah, I've been really busy doing these and loving it. I tried one with glitter, didn't really like it. I don't think it looks that great, so I won't be doing that again. This one is a little birdie, and I've put a daisy on its head. These little daisies, I'll show you a bit closer. They're actually real daisies that I picked from the garden, and I dried them in the microwave following the Frugal Crafter shows how to do that. And I have some others here. They didn't turn out as well as I wanted them to, but they're still okay. And to preserve them, I've covered them in that varnish Mod Podge on both sides to seal them up, so hopefully they won't ever deteriorate. You know how quite often dried flowers go all brown and crumbly and yucky. I did this because I saw a few other people coating, I think it was Nana number 3. She did a thing on coating the leaves and preserving them, and she said that you could do it with live or green leaves as well as the brown ones, and that sort of gave me the idea that maybe I could try it with flowers. So I did that, and hopefully they'll stay alright for a really long time. Now the other thing I did was, while I was sifting through my embroidery cottons, I came across these that I had left over, and these are those little cards that you use to wrap the cotton around and hold them in place. And I thought, oh, maybe I could use these as a little thing. So what I did was I got a little tile that I'd made, and I painted up one of these and used it as a little background, and I've put some cotton on there. So that's pretty cute, I think. I'll probably do a few more of those with the little cards. So that's my tiles. So hopefully maybe that's inspired one or two of you to have a go at making some tiles and have some fun doing it. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.